Hi, friends. Welcome back. Today, we are going to move through a practice that is focused on the quads, but also the underlying muscles of the quads that connect to our hip flexors. So, we're going to work this whole area today. You do not need any true props for this practice, but you are going to want a blanket, preferably a thick one that you can roll up into a log type shape. But that's all you need. Take a moment, grab that, and then we will start on our belly today. Okay. So go ahead and lie down and elbows out wide, palms to touch, and just drop the head down to the mat. Maybe it rests on the tops of your hands. We'll just take a few deep breaths here together. What I want you to think about is as you take your breath in, can you puff the belly out like you're trying to press the mat away from you with your belly? And then as you take your breath out, drawing the belly back in towards the spine. Okay, so let's try that a few times together. Take a big breath in, bring the belly away into the mat. And then a slow breath out, drawing the belly away from the mat into the backside of the body. A couple more times together. Big breath in. And breath out. Belly contracts in. Breath in, breathing through the nose. And breath out. Stay here. Take a couple more breaths on your own. Now that you've familiarized yourself with this breath, can you draw the breath a little bit lower into the belly? So think below the belly button, down towards your hip bone area. How low can you bring that breath? How low can you press into the mat? Good. Take a couple more deep breaths here. All right, next breath in, go ahead and lift the chest up off the mat. We'll transition into our Sphinx pose, bringing the forearms parallel to each other in front of you. So just start here, keeping the chest lifted, legs long. Bring your awareness into the lower part of your body. Feel the legs relax from the hips all the way down to the toes. Just let it go here. All right, as we move into our quad stretch from this shape, know that you can always come back to this place right here. Okay, as we focus on the quads, sometimes that involves a lot of bending at the knee. So just be really aware and mindful throughout this practice. Anytime you feel any pain or pinching in the knee, please back off. Take a pause. Come back to this shape. Okay. So first, quad stretch here. And turn my left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Lift up a little bit. And you're going to reach back. Grab the right foot with your right hand. Palm down. Draw the right heel towards your glutes. And then can you return the right shoulder towards the mat? Not all the way down, but just kind of drawing in that direction. You can stay upright here. You might return the head back down to the ground. As you draw the heel in, imagine lengthening through your right knee. So creating length in the top of that right leg from hip to knee. We'll hold a minute or so here. Again, just notice when this gets uncomfortable. And it probably will. Recognize that as a part of this practice. To sit in the discomfort just for a moment so that you have the opportunity to grow, to create change in the body, to create change in how you react to difficult situations. We've got one more big breath here. Okay, gently go ahead and release the foot. Bring the right forearm parallel to the top of the mat, and we're just going to switch that right out. So start in a raised position. Reach the left hand back for your left foot. Can you keep that knee facing straight back? And then slowly you'll return the left shoulder down towards the mat. And again, maybe you're upright. Maybe you're coming down a little further, resting the head on the arm or on the mat. Again, just about 60 seconds here. Not crazy long time, but enough for you to start to feel something. Feel that slight waking up, lengthening of the quad muscle. One more breath. Okay, you're spring loaded, so just gently release. Go and rest the head back into the ground again. All right, stay with the head down. We're going to tuck the toes under. And then press through your heels like you're trying to press the bottoms of your feet onto the wall behind you. So reaching through the heels, your knees, your shins, even the thighs might lift from the mat just a little bit. Just get a nice little stretch there. And then go ahead and relax full body down to the ground. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right, from here, go and press yourself up. I'm going to sit back on the knees just for a moment so we can move into our next shape. We're going to come into a dragon. We'll start by coming onto the knees. Now, if you want, you could grab a blanket here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab. I just have mine folded in half right now, so you could use this to help pad your left knee here. So if you're doing that, left knee stays. We'll step the right foot forward to the outside edge of your mat. And then lean into this lunge, bring the palms down to the ground. And this is where we're going to hold today. If you do have props at home and you would like to use them, you can. So maybe blocks for the hands, maybe you stack some pillows here. But I want to encourage you to stay at about this level rather than going super deep into this. And I'm also going to encourage you to keep the right foot flat today and the right knee over the ankle. So I don't cue that a lot. But reason being is I really want the focus to be on this left hip. So instead of worrying about this right leg over here, can you drop the left hip down and focus on that little stretch through the left hip crease? And at the same time, you'll probably notice some compression in the right hip crease. So just being aware of that juxtaposition here. Now that we're settled, just finding about 10 more breaths. Okay, final two. All right, and then we're going to straighten this right leg just for a moment. Lift the right toes up off the mat and pull the right hip back. Press down through the right heel. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then re-bend the knee. We'll return back to our knees and set up for the other side. So this time the right knee stays. Step the left foot forward. And then sink into your lunge. Make sure your left foot's nice and wide there to the edge of your mat. And bring the palms down to the ground. And again, encouraging you today to try to keep that left foot flat, left knee over the left ankle. And rather than dipping into that left knee or opening up the left hip, dropping the right side of your body, right hip down towards the mat. And just finding awareness here between right side stretching, left side compressing. Finding length in the top of that right leg. Maybe visually just sending the breath to that area. And being still, just a little while longer. All right. Just go ahead and straighten the left knee. Pull the hips back. And wide half split. Lift the left toes up. And ground down through the left heel. Maybe find a little fold into the leg here. All right. Go ahead and rebend. We'll return the knees back to our blanket. And just sit back on the heel. Take a breath in. And a breath. All right. So one more upright here. So you will need a little bit of wall space. Apologize, I did not say that earlier. Have your blanket, again, if you need to pad the knee. I have pretty soft flooring, so I'm going to skip the blanket on this one. All right. You're going to turn away from your wall. We're going to come into a quad stretch here. We won't hold this one as long, so about a minute. This can be pretty intense. So if this bothers your knees, I just want you to go ahead and come out when you feel like you've had enough. Okay, so starting on the knees here, I'm going to step my left foot forward like I'm about to stand up. Okay. If you need to put your hand down for support, you're going to place your right foot on the wall and slide your right knee pretty close to the wall here. If it feels okay with the ankle, go ahead and untuck the right foot. Okay. This is pretty awkward to get into, as you can see. If I'm doing it on camera, you guys can try it in your house. But this is basically the pose. So you can bring your hands to your left leg. All right. The more you lean forward, the less of a quad stretch this is. So if you're leaning forward, you're going to dump all the weight into this left leg. It's not exactly wrong, but just not what we're looking for today. So if you can, sit up a little taller, right? So that you're leaning back into the right leg, which is where you want to feel the stretch. So we're looking for something all the way up the right top of the leg. Okay, I'll keep us 30 more seconds since I've been chatting at you guys. Stay nice and upright. One more breath. Okay, come out of this. Bring the hands down. Not really graceful way to come out of this. Just slide the foot off the wall. Okay, come back to hands and knees. Let's step the right foot off to the right side of your mat. And then lean back the hips into your left heel. Keep pressing your right foot down into the ground. Just want you to get a little stretch to that right leg. Okay. And then come on out of that. Come back to the knees. We're going to do the same thing for your left side. So again, you'll step your right foot forward like you're about to stand back up. Put your left foot on the wall. Slide your left knee a little bit closer to the wall. Untuck your left foot so the top of your foot's on the wall. I gotta get situated here. And then stand back up on that left knee, right foot. Okay. And again, if you're leaning into this, you're dumping more of the weight into the right leg. Instead, can you lean back into the wall just a little bit? Okay, and that'll help you get a little bit deeper of a stretch into the top of the left leg. Breathe here, just 5 more breaths. All right, nice job. Let it go. Whenever you want to awkwardly make your way out of it, go ahead. And then come back to the knees and hands, so your tabletop. Step your left foot off to the side, left foot down on the mat as you sink the hips back towards the right heel. Left leg stays nice and long. All right, come back through the middle. All right, go ahead and sit on the knees for a moment. Grab your blanket so we can set up for our final pose. So you're gonna want your blanket folded in half the long ways. And then you're gonna roll this up, hot dog style. So you have a nice, thick log going on. You could also stack a few pillows for this, or if you have a bolster. But we want something nice and thick here. And we're gonna lay our hips over this. Actually, go this way. All right, so I'm gonna sit down. And you're gonna lay back over your blanket. So lift your hips enough so you can adjust where this is placed. And you're going to want this right underneath your seat, kind of right about level with your hip bones. So low back is coming off of the roll. All right. And then from here, we're going to pull the right knee into the chest and lengthen out your left leg. The left leg relaxes on the ground. We're just taking 5 breaths in the shape. And then we'll swap it out. So maybe you make this a little bit stiff for a moment, reaching through the left toe, drawing your right. And then swap. Like long. Okay, last breath. Maybe you reach through that right foot. Okay, and then both legs long here. Reach your arms over the head and we'll find a full length pontoon shape here. Might need, I have to move my roll down just lightly. All right, so a little bit of a back bend, but move the roll down a little bit if you feel like you're really arching the back. I'd rather it feel like you're stretching through the tops of the legs here. So right into your hip flexors, right through this hip crease. All right, arms nice and long overhead. Settle in. Let the whole body just be heavy. Had several active poses today, so just finding more of a passive shape and a passive state in the body. Okay, so you're comfortable here. And if this is where you want to end practice today, take your time. If you'd like a shavasana, I invite you to bend the knees, slide your roll away, bring the hips back down in the mat for a moment. The knees fall inward. Be slow about changing the shape, about finding your final resting place. And eventually you might lengthen the legs out. Open up the arms to the side. Roll the shoulder blades together underneath you. And settle in. Find that last bit of stillness. As always, you're invited to stay as long as you need. Let the time run out. Move slowly as you come out of your shavasana today. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.